With an update on WWE plans for The Rock and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Going over the original plans for the future of Dark Side of the Ring, it was said by the Wrestling Observer newsletter that PW Insider reported on March as the start of the new season of Dark Side of the Ring. The original plan was to do 2 seasons in 2023 with one later in the year. I believe either all or most of this season was shot with season 4 last year. Early last year I did shows for both seasons. It's well known that Chris Adams will be a story for the new season. People had told me it was shaping up to be a great episode. I don't know that his name is big enough to do ratings, but his story certainly is very interesting. Ringside News added, Chris Adams is expected to be a featured story in the new series, and while his name might not be a major draw for ratings, the narrative surrounding him is notably compelling. The fact that Dave Meltzer sat in on those interviews gives us a very good idea that there are other episodes planned, but we just haven't seen them yet. As of this writing, we do not know who will be featured in the next season of Dark Side of the Ring. That show is one of Vice TV's most popular shows, so we can only hope that there are many seasons to come despite Vice's bankruptcy. On the Unscriptify podcast, Lio Rush touched on his time in AEW, saying, I think there was just a lot going on, a lot of miscommunications, a lot of injuries, just a lot. I think the timing was wrong. I think tensions were high, tensions were rising. It's a new company, and a lot of things were getting figured out. So I think ultimately it was just bad timing and miscommunication and things like that, and it happens. Things happen. Things don't always work out as planned. My run got cut short, but I'm glad I had the one that I did because people still talk about it, which means it was impactful. I'm super happy with what I was able to accomplish while I was there. For an interesting fact about WOW Women of Wrestling having a television special on CBS, PW Insider reported, in asking, we are told there is actually a potential for that in the future, but currently no immediate plans. Expressing her willingness to make a WWE comeback, Jacqueline told the Attitude Era podcast, I would hope I could return to WWE. Vince McMahon, Triple H, somebody, y'all can call me. I still have a little left in the tank. So if you can return Trish Stratus and The Rock can return and John Cena can return, Jacqueline can return too, you know, that's what I'm talking about. Listing off the top 10 t-shirts being sold from WWE, Wrestle Features wrote on X, the top selling t-shirts on WWE Shop, January 12th. Number 1, R-Truth and Judgment Day, Standard. Number 2, R-Truth and Judgment Day, Live, Laugh, Love. Number 3, CM Punk, Return. Number 4, CM Punk, Hell Froze Over. Number 5, Jey Uso, Yeet, Black. Number 6, Roman Reigns, Levels Above. Number 7, Randy Orton, Strike First. Number 8, Rhea Ripley, Mommy on Top. Number 9, Jey Uso, Yeet, White. And number 10, Bray Wyatt, Legacy. For details on the recent return to AEW programming for the Young Bucks, it was said on Wrestling Observer newsletter that the Young Bucks were originally going to take more time off before returning, but Sting asked them and they weren't about to turn that down. When Sting was asked who he wanted to face, the Young Bucks were his choice, as he loved doing the Forbidden Door 2022 match in Chicago, Sting and Allen and Takagi versus Bucks and El Phantasmo. Mentioning the internal reaction to AEW President Tony Khan's recent online comments about Jinder Mahal in WWE, Brian Alvarez said on Wrestling Observer Live, here's the thing, I got a lot of tweets. It was the exact same thing as last time. I got a lot of tweets from people in AEW who were like, why is he doing this on Twitter? This is embarrassing. That's what they said. They said it last time too. I'm sure he's aware of it. But he sees this as, look at all this engagement I get for these tweets, and then I can tweet out some promotion for some matches for Wednesday, and it'll help boost the rating. That's why he does it. Staying on the topic of Jinder Mahal, Bayley would say this about the former WWE champion, trending on social media, telling Gabby AF, "I just think wrestling is the coolest and the funniest. The best thing about Twitter and wrestling fans more so than any other sport, just love giving their opinion and think they're always right. That's how they feel. To me, it's entertaining to watch. It's also awesome to see people care this much about wrestling. It makes you want to tune in. If you're not a WWE fan, well, now I kind of want to see what they're going to do. And if you're not a fan of watching Dynamite, you kind of want to tune in to see if they're going to do something back. It just makes it fun. That's what we're all here to do, and it just makes more money. Jinder loves money." Revealing a couple comebacks that are set for WWE, the Wrestling Observer newsletter noted both Sheamus and Woods are expected back over the next few weeks. Ringside News added that Sheamus is an interesting case because his WWE contract is running up in 2024. We have not heard that he has re-signed a new deal. Then again, WWE can always freeze his deal for this injury hiatus. After hitting his head hard on Raw, which led to his match being called off early, this was said regarding the status of Giovanni Vinci by the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Vinci is out due to a concussion from the kick by Kingston to the jaw last week. Bringing up the potential future of New Japan star Kazuchika Okada, it was said in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that perhaps the biggest news that nobody picked up on from the cards released is that Kazuchika Okada is on every card where a full card is announced after February 1st. His contract ends on January 31st. That doesn't mean 100% he's staying, as they haven't announced a new contract, and Will Ospreay is working February 11th, and we know his contract is up January 31st. But it would be a pretty strong indicator with him working a full schedule and not just one big show match, or nothing but a match to drop the trios titles, or a match that could be a goodbye match. Noting how a pro wrestling personality was accused of grooming, Ringside News wrote that Sarah Rose, a non-binary individual using they/them pronouns, is known in the wrestling community as Stepstool Sarah. Their involvement in the independent scene spanned several years, primarily as a ring announcer and photographer. Now it appears their days in the business are at risk in a big way. Approximately 3 weeks ago, concerns were raised within St. Louis Anarchy SLA after a wrestler reported that Rose, who is in their early 30s, had been engaging in inappropriate interactions with his younger brother, who is currently a high school senior. An anonymous interview with the concerned SLA wrestler revealed instances of inappropriate behavior on Rose's behalf towards his brother at SLA events and other locations. Examples included intrusive remarks when the brother adjusted his shorts, and instances of Rose being publicly mean while privately exhibiting manipulative behavior. 2 days after the brother turned 18, Rose initiated inappropriate text messages, which the wrestler found concerning. Despite the wrestler's confrontation, Rose remained unapologetic, attributing their actions to autism, a justification that offended the wrestler. The wrestler presented evidence to SLA owner Matt Jackson, prompting a review of text exchanges and a conversation with the wrestler's brother. Following the assessment, Jackson decided to sever ties with Rose for violating the company's code of conduct. It was then revealed that Rose had previously worked for SLA, but had been separated due to past social media messages containing offensive language. Despite being allowed back for photography work, Rose faced a similar outcome. Other promotions, including 01, NAP, and Black Label Pro, have also terminated their associations with Rose. In response to the situation, Nick Houseman of House of Wrestling reported that Rose expressed a desire for help and requested to be left alone. Going over a potential dream match in WWE taking place, the Wrestling Observer newsletter said regarding the Reigns vs. Rock match, while I presume it's WrestleMania and could possibly be a three-way with Rhodes, but I don't think that will come out until many weeks from now, what we did have confirmed is the Australia rumors aren't accurate. Reigns is not even scheduled for the show, he's never been advertised, and there are no plans for him for that date right now. Speaking about possible plans for the men's Royal Rumble match, the Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that Punk and Rhodes are the obvious favorites to win, with Gunther, Knight, and Rock following. The idea of Rock as a surprise Rumble entrant coming in late and winning was discussed for past years when there was an idea of him headlining Mania, so while nobody has advertised it and it probably wouldn't happen, I wouldn't reject it as a possibility. Obviously, this is completely up to Dwayne Johnson. The usual protocol is that one world title challenger would win at the Rumble and the other at Elimination Chamber. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.